All right, so welcome everybody to the Realtor Marketing Blueprint. I am so glad everyone is here. We all know and understand that marketing is a part of the foundation of any business. You need a solid marketing plan in order to be successful. It is my hope that the skills and tools that we are going to talk about and cover today, you all find successful. You're walking away with some nuggets that'll help take your business into the next level. You're in the right place if you're looking for an understanding of the difference between branding, marketing, and advertising. You're looking to build your marketing strategy. You're unsure about how to attract new clients. You're unsure about who your ideal client is and how to be able to determine what they are and what they look like. You want to build a visible form of business. You're tired of just posting. You want to know what's the next thing they should be doing or working on. You want a clear understanding of what tools that you need to invest in. Or if you just need to get away from your kids for 45 minutes, you are in the right place today. And a little bit about myself. My name is Dr. Austin J. Hill, and I'll be your instructor for today. A full-time college administrator. I work at Harvard Community College in business and student development. I've been doing content creation for about 4 years now, working with realtors such as yourself. That really is my niche. While I do work with other business and business owners, really in real estate and realtor branding and assisting is really what my focus is. I am married, wife Brittany, I have a daughter Corey, and as of this week, we added a new addition, our dog AJ, better known as Ace. About myself, background is in education, so I like doing teaching and advertising, and teaching and webinars and things of that nature, because just who I am and what's in my blood. And that is who I am. And while we are waiting, if you wouldn't mind dropping a note or a comment about who you all are. I think we're probably going to have over 30 different agents today, but I would love to find out who's in the crowd. So if you wouldn't mind sharing or dropping a note or something that way, I can circle back to be able to connect with you later on. I definitely would appreciate it. This will be interactive, so I will be asking questions of you all in order to get a better understanding and know where I need to go more in depth. So if you have comments, or if I say, hey, somebody wants to chime in, please be interactive with me. So the first question is, am I really marketing, right? So, with some of the activities and things that we're doing, one of the questions is, are you really marketing? And what are some of those tasks that you're doing and working on? Are they really helpful? So first question is, how do you typically market your business? So for some of the realtors who are in the crowd right now, how are you all marketing your business on a regular basis? Someone feel free to unmute. Anybody?
Social media for me, and
I'm sorry, if you can say who you are, because I can't really, it's so many names I can't say. You can say who you are.
Oh, this is Chanel Sinclair. Yeah. And social media is my primary, even though I'm not doing it right now, but when I do market, I use social media.
So when you say you market using social media, what does that mean? What does that look like? What does that entail?
Just always trying to let people know that I'm a realtor, whether it's making videos about showings or making posts that are helping to give information to people.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chanel. Somebody else.
Hey, Austin, it's Alana.
Hey, Alana.
So I don't really do social media. Most of my marketing is email marketing. I really focus on my past clients because all of my business is referral based. So I really like to nurture and continue to build a relationship with people I've worked with in the past. So email marketing, mailing them gifts all the time. I don't really do the social media.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Anybody
Hey,
else?
Austin. This is Dante.
Okay. Hey, Dante.
So I do a lot of direct mailers as well. I buy targeted lists to focus on my areas that I'm farming.
Okay, great. So everything listed pretty much seems common for realtors and what they're working on. So those are all great strategies, right? So the first three things that we want to talk about is branding, marketing, advertising, right? So branding really is the promotion of a particular product or company by the means of advertising the distinctive design. So when you start with, in layman's terms, what that means is you have an intentional way of people are able to identify with who you are, what is it you do that's recognizable. So from a branding standpoint, everybody understands the Target bullseye, right? Like whenever you see the bullseye, you automatically know that has something to do with Target. You know, for McDonald's, you see the big M in the sky, like you know McDonald's is coming, so you automatically associate certain things with that. And the same thing with the Nike check. Whenever you see the swoosh, you already know like something associated with Nike. So that's how these companies typically begin to brand themselves. So the question is, you know, as realtors, how are you all making yourselves identifiable with the content that you're doing? And you can do that by, you know, the branding photos that you take, having a logo or signature on the material that you're putting out. You have a signature activity, something that you're known for, whether it be in person, whether it be online, whether it be, you know, print marketing, mailers, or whatever it may be, or having a signature slogan at the end of a sentence. And I'm sorry that this cut off, but it's a signature slogan at the end of a sentence. So if you're doing activity and you're known for something, you know, having that signature is important. One of my clients in Nashville, her slogan is, I'm Shawan Dotson Crawford, a real estate broker, aiding all of your real estate needs. So whenever she does something, whether it be video, whatever it may be, you know, her slogan is aiding all of your real estate needs. So, you know, the running joke is between ourselves, you know, whenever she's doing something, is ensuring that she's saying that. You know, partly, it's catchy, but the other part is people will be able to recognize that it's her because it begins to trigger in their mind every time they hear that, right? So then once you have that brand and who your brand is or who you are as an individual established, you then can work towards the marketing and all the things that were listed from an email marketing standpoint is correct. You know, from posting on social media, that's correct. You know, doing print advertising, that's correct. But marketing is the activity of a business promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising, right? So it's informing people that while you are an individual, you also do certain things. And you can do that, you know, businesses do that, you know, Bath and Body Works, you know, they're constantly doing coupons. So, or, you know, if you are a magazine individual and you're putting like those advertisements inside those magazines that we all see, you know, businesses will advertise in there and then individuals will advertise in there as well, or door hangers. You know, if you're in a community or working out, and you probably see it for like grass cutting and things of that nature, you'll see companies do like the door hangers and put them on actual doors in order to be able to advertise. So what does that look like for realtors? So if you're a realtor, going out and networking, you having business cards with QR codes, and then when that QR code, it leads to, you know, a website or web page that somebody can get and gather information, or you're doing videos or reels in order to talk about services that you offer, scenarios that people may be able to identify with, or some of that constant information, or looking to sponsor an event and activities. You know, you could be a realtor or real estate team and you're sponsoring something like ice cream social or some kind of give back event in order to help push your brand a little bit further, or something simple like buyer or seller guide. You know, people like information. They like to be able to digest information at their own time and they feel comfortable with. So if you have information like a buyer guide or seller guide, that is extremely helpful for people to be able to connect and market your business, because it'll bring you across as an authority figure on the topic. And then you have the advertising, right? So with advertisement being different than marketing, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but with the advertisement, you start to look at a little bit more intentional, right? You start to see those on like the Facebook ads, Google ads. If you're, you know, buying advertising space on like a dance recital, somebody says, hey, we're selling ad space, half page, full page, business card space. You know, you sort of see those forms of advertisement. So one of the questions that I have for you all is, what do you think the key difference is between marketing and then the advertising of your business. What do you think the key difference would be? Anybody?
Advertising, does it usually have a CTA, like a call to action, like you're asking the client or the potential customer to take some type of action rather than just giving them information?
You saying advertisement does not have a CTA?
It does.
Yes, correct. Correct. So when we start talking about the difference between marketing and advertising, you can market yourself by just informing the public or informing somebody of what it is that you're doing, right? But if there's no action behind it, individuals don't know what it is that they should be doing next, right? Whereas if you're doing an ad, majority of the time, if you're running an ad, especially if you're running a paid ad, you want them to do something after they have been informed on the content of material that you have provided them, right? So you want them to click to learn more, sign up to find out more, read this in order to gain a better understanding. So these are all different actions that individuals can do in order to better educate themselves, right? So that is very, very important. So we talk about from a branding standpoint, right? There are certain actions that you can do and then put in place. So as we start talking about the notes, we talk about branding and brand elements. The average person will say, my brand colors are black and gold. Well, if you know anything about colors, you'll know that there are probably 30 different shades of black, 30 different shades of gold, so you have to be more intentional. With that being said, if you are working on building out your brand colors, whether it be for polos, whether it be to make graphics or whatever it may be, a great website to utilize is colors.co. And what colors.co does is it gives you the actual hex color that you can write down to provide a marketing agency or some kind of business you may be interacting with your exact colors. So that you have consistency in everything that you do. You can ensure that everything is precise in all of your colors, so everything is uniform. So I would definitely encourage you to write down colors.co if you are looking to build out your brand and have that consistency. The next thing you should look to do is to invest in a logo and signature. Why? Because if you're putting out quality information, you want people to be able to recognize that you are the authority figure doing that. Some people have a creative logo, which is great and incorporates their information inside of it. For some that don't have that, having a signature with your name can be just as good. So, if you're putting, a graphic out there with some information and one friend reshares, another friend reshares it and say, man, this is good. Who do I contact? Your information is going to be right there then on the graphic. And if you're looking for how to be able to have these stamps and logos and things of that nature, you can utilize and make it, inside of Canva. Canva has great signature templates or stamps or logos that you can use. You can go on Fiverr. Fiverr is another website that's extremely cost effective where you're going to have somebody make or design it for you. Or you can go on Etsy. Etsy is another website that is low cost. And you can get templates for Canva, or you can pay somebody to make an actual signature, whatever your comfort level may be or is. And then you need images, right? So you want the consistency in what it is that you're doing. And we are now at a place, like if you are looking to make money and you're looking to generate that business, I'm all about making things and doing things on a budget. But the foundation of the material that you need starts with quality images, because you never know when you're going to be asked to speak somewhere. You never know when you're going to have an opportunity to do an ad or whatever it may be. And having that high resolution image is important. While there are some cell phones that can create great images, the main thing that you want to be wary of is the overall megapixels of that image, right? So a cell phone, while it can look great, lighting can be great, everything will look great. If you send it somewhere because you need to have a poster blown up, it may not be enough pixels inside of that image to make said poster, which could then prolong you being able to make the poster, you miss a deadline or whatever it may be. So I would definitely encourage you to look into investing in those quality images so that you're in a position to be able to tell a story and be able to highlight what it is that you're doing from an advertisement standpoint. And then everything, your business should tell a story, right? People buy from people who they like, who they know, and who they trust. So every time you have an image, it should be telling a story and having an outcome. And you can do this. You can post and tell your story by doing a reel, sharing a scenario. People like scenarios and stories. Why? Because they can relate to them. So if you have a buyer who is, let's say, the single mother, well, depending upon your audience, a lot of people might identify being a single mother. So that'll cause them to tune in. You have a buyer who currently works on a certain side of town. Well, if I work on that side of town, that may perk my interest and make me want to listen more. So start by framing and telling a story with identifiable traits that people can listen into to be able to utilize, right? And then break down common buyer and seller issues. I mean, you all are agents, everybody is aware of some of the common issues that you have, right? A person quit their job, person bought a car, they opened up a credit card line with Ashley Furniture because they were trying to get everything lined up. They move money around from this checking account and that checking account, and then break down and share what happens in that scenario and then what the resolution is. Sometimes the resolution is great. You're able to save the deal because you're great at what you do. Sometimes the resolution isn't great and it's painful. And sometimes, they're not able to get the house. And then talk about what that pain may happen or may look like. I was working with the agent, and they had a client was getting ready to go to closing because their apartment complex was not renewing because they were selling. And they get all the way up to closing. Something happens with the transaction. They're now out of it because the buyer ended up getting a credit card last minute and then getting furniture for the house. And somehow the deal didn't go through. And now the person couldn't go back because the apartment that they were renting from, like a duplex or triplex, was closing the next day. So this person potentially would be out of a home. And start thinking about what kind of feelings or emotions somebody may be going through. So these are the type of scenarios that you can share with potential clients, and then how you're able to create a resolution for them. And also look into a few things that are not real estate related, right? Because you always want to stay on top of mind for individuals. If I buy a house from you and all you do is talk about buying or selling homes, then once we're done the transaction, I have no reason to keep following. So start talking about things like you're going out of town, you're going to this place, you're going to that restaurant. Find ways to be engaging with individuals so it causes them to keep wanting to follow you. And then in turn, when they have somebody who is looking to buy or sell, you stay on top of mind as a referral, because many of you know that referrals are the number one form of marketing for a business. So we got to find reasons to have people continue to refer us, which goes into the foundations of marketing. Word of mouth is one of the top forms, or the top form, for many business owners. So using people who are influential, you want to ensure that you're somehow connecting and working with them if they have a large network, if you don't, and then encouraging people to leave Google reviews. Why? Because if you don't have a Google My Business right now, I definitely would encourage you to, and that's another slide later on. But having those Google reviews that people can leave for you will then make you more searchable, especially if they're able to use certain target words and target terms that'll be extremely friendly to Google. It'll do nothing but benefit you. Online social media, a lot of people say I don't like posting. Posting is not difficult, especially if you come up with a routine. A lot of people feel as though Canva is difficult to learn. It really isn't. One of the things that's extremely helpful for you if you're looking to market is to utilize Etsy. I go on Etsy every single month to find different social media templates, along with a couple of other subscriptions that I have. But what it does is it causes my mind to think differently, look differently. I already have something that's there. So if all I have to do is make a couple of tweaks, add a logo or signature to it in order to be able to post, it's easy to be able to do. And then you have your paid advertisement. You know, having and utilizing Facebook ads and Google ads is extremely important. You need to be running those advertisements in addition to online, also to having print media for clients, whether it be like a magazine, a local sports league, or, you know, somewhere that you can have your face out and about that people can be able to hold on to. We asked this question a little bit earlier. So the next most important thing, if you don't take anything else away from today, is establishing Google My Business. By show of hands, how many people already have Google My Business already established for their business? 1, 2, okay, 4, 6, 7, 8 more. All right. So if you don't have a Google My Business account, I would definitely encourage you to do so. You know, Google is the #1 form of #1 search engine that most Americans use, right? So when you start talking about like how are you going to be visible, some of your buyers may be on social media, but some of them may not be on social media. But the ones that are on social media, 9 times out of 10, they're going to Google your name to see what comes up, good, bad, or indifferent. And you want the content associated with your work to be good, and you want people to talk good things about you. You know, you definitely want to establish your Google My Business. So if you've been an agent for years and you've had a lot of transactions, you know, it's easy to get those reviews. But if you are working on your first transaction right now and you're saying, Austin, I really don't have that much. Well, if you're doing in-person events, right? Or, you know, you're holding virtual events, ask your attendees at the end of the session to write you a Google review, you know, and add and lead them with certain questions. Did I inform you on the topic that I said I was going to share with you about, right? Do you feel more comfortable about just knowing the information, right? And if so, would you mind writing a Google review and just talking about how well informed I was able to make you? Because that's really what you want your potential clients to know and understand, that you know that you're educated, that you're well versed on the topic, and that you're able to translate and inform that information, right? You know, if somebody's looking for an agent, that's really essentially what they're looking to try to grasp and get out of it. The benefits of having a Google My Business account, you know, become more searchable online. It's easier for people to contact you because in Google My Business, it'll say call or text or whatever it may be. So people can just go right on Google and contact you. And then you can leverage content that you make, right? So in Google My Business, you can also make posts, and having those posts also make you more searchable. You can link other things to your account like video. So having a Google My Business account is very, very a positive thing to do, right? And then you can embed these things into your website. You can embed them into your business card. You can send it right over to somebody after your sessions. So now we're going into client experience gigs, right? So a client experience gig is something that like you're seeing right now, right? Like this is a client experience gig in that it's not really intended to have an immediate impact, but something that people can talk about. So the purpose is in order to build your email list and a segment of people who fall into that category. So one of the things that Alana had mentioned earlier is having an email list. Well, your email list should talk to really a certain segment of people if you're looking to do something. You know, so you might have a buyer's segment, you might have a seller's segment, you might have a first-time home buyer segment, you might have an upsizing seller segment. So by having client experience events, whether it be virtual, in person, or whatever it may be, that specifically talk to these things can be beneficial to you. Why? Because then you can cater your email tag or your email headline to say to that audience information that may be happening. You know, so first-time home buyers, and you do a virtual first-time home buyer event, and then, you know, one of your lending partners comes up with a new lending product that's beneficial to them. You can then say in the headline of your email, this first-time buyer lending program will blow your mind, right? And that's going to cause somebody to click. It's like, oh, what is a new program? And then you do a video or an email around that, inform them what the new program is and how they can benefit. But to dive back in, the purpose of your email segment, the benefit that you can build content specifically for that segment of business. The task is to create virtual events similar to this by engaging people with common questions. Like, what are questions that people have? And there are different websites, and I can share with you all on how to find out what questions people have, but you can also find out that same information by posing a question like on your reels, So by doing a reel, not doing a reel, doing a highlight, or by posting on your Facebook page, if you're a first-time buyer or a first-time home buyer, what are some questions that you may have? And then you frame the experience or the event that you have around those questions. Can I buy a duplex as a first-time home buyer? And then you do an event. Is buying a duplex in today's market the right thing to do? Or finding financing for people who want to buy duplexes and triplexes. Well, if that's a question that people are commonly asking, having an event like that will then be beneficial. And then in turn, you're building an email segment for people who are first-time home buyers. And then you're building an email segment for people who also are looking to buy duplexes and triplexes. And then the end, you build the ask with how you're framing the event, how it's going to be advertised. Are you currently interested in learning about blank? So that you can blank, so you're framing, do they have a question about something? And then what are they trying to do once it happens? Well, then attend this event because it's for you, because we will be doing blank. And then by the end of it, you'll be able to do blank. So you've already started your foundation of establishing your brand. You already started talking about the elements of being able to market and what are some of the tasks that you need to do. So before you do anything else, you need to do the following. You need to be able to track the information that you're doing. Why? Because there's nothing worse than doing something and not being able to understand the data that's behind it and track it so that you can grow and develop. So the first thing you need to do is set up the analytics for your pages. So Facebook and Instagram, if you don't already have a business page, I would definitely encourage you to do so that you can track the analytics of where the demographics, the people that are following you, so that you can kind of make your client avatar. You need to have Google Analytics built into your web page so you can track and see. And I'll show everybody, because we should have a couple minutes towards the end, be able to see where people are jumping onto your website, where they're jumping off of your website, how long they're staying on your website, what pages are most frequented, when they're frequenting your pages, so that you can see if what you're doing is actually working. And then building a Facebook pixel into your website so that you can retarget people who are going to your website to find information. Because if you have a Facebook pixel and somebody jumps from your Instagram or Facebook onto your website and the Facebook pixel catches them, you can run an ad on people who they do, and they say, man, every time I click, I see, Dion's page. Like, I must have to, get in contact with Dion because I keep seeing her page and seeing the information. So you want to be able to have that pixel and that analytic built in. Second, you want to create a landing page. Like, while having a website is great, having a landing page with information that people can easily access is just as important. A lot of people get frustrated when they can't find the information they're looking for and then just click off the page. So having a landing page that clearly answers and defines what somebody is looking for will then help you. While some people have links in bio, and I'm not trying to judge or anything like that, I think that that's great. I would encourage you, when you have the opportunity, to build that same link in bio page from your own domain and website. And the reason why is, one, you can get the analytics. So unless you're doing the paid version of link in bio, you'll never be able to get the analytics from your webpage. So you'll never be able to determine and tell when people are getting on your webpage, how long people are on your webpage, like all the information you need to see so you can make tweaks you'll never be able to get. And then constantly updated with different things. There are some people that I've been on like the link in bio page and they've not updated their website or the link in bio from last year. You know, they still have like a Halloween soiree up from Halloween of 2022. So constantly updating your link in bio, putting things up, like even if it's a virtual event, like once a month, because it gives people something new and something fresh to be able to look at. You want to build that foundational content on your page. Like you want to try to be able to do a video or reel once a week. And the reason why is you can take people who watch those videos, those video content and reels, and then retarget things to them. And I'll dive into that in a moment. And then you also want to have a strong call to action and things to offer. You know, so while yes, the intent is to try to get buyers and try to get sellers, you also want to be able to nurture them and be able to send them directly to a place where you can nurture them, right? So why your Google ads may fail. So a lot of people here may feel as though like Austin, like I ran Google ads before and it really didn't work. Well, there are reasons why they probably didn't work for you, right? There are your audience may stink, right? So you need to narrow down on who your audience is, like what zip code you're targeting. You know, if you're showing a picture and the picture is houses that are $500,000 and you're targeting zip codes that don't offer $500,000 homes, or people who are qualifying for homes that are $500,000, it's not going to add up. So that's one reason. You know, second, you may be picking the wrong form of advertising on Facebook or Instagram in order to reach your clients. You know, so one of the ads, and I can just speak for myself, the Get More Leads option is the most expensive form of advertisement. So your reach isn't as great. You'll have to actually transition from that. The Get More Messages is another great option. The problem is, if I'm working from 8 to 5 on a regular basis on my full-time job and I can't be on my phone, text people back, that's not going to be a great form, because if somebody's messaging you and texting you, chances are they want to have that conversation right now. So if you're not able to respond, that's not going to be a great option. And then for me, website traffic is probably by far the number one form of advertisement that I use on Facebook and Instagram. And the reason is because I then can get the Google Analytics and the Facebook Pixel so that I can retarget and reshare that. And I'm one of those, I'm showing proof so you guys can see in the last 2 months, I spent about $250 on advertisement. It also is showing the actual reach for some of the advertisement that, we've done. And some of the results. So for me, these are the two numbers that are, big for me. And the reason why is I can then track everybody who has gone on my website and then retarget them specifically for that action. Some people, Google Ads may be better. You might want to show up on the top of, page 1 or page 2 in Google, which is great. Google is also great for visibility. And then if you're like, awesome, I really don't have it to spend on, ads right now, which is fine, try to do some local ads, find a local laundromat. Why? Because somebody's using a laundromat, chances are either they don't have a washing machine that's large enough to handle their wash, or they must be in transition and don't have a washing machine at home. So maybe you can help find them a washing machine at home. So work with a local business, say, hey, do you mind if I leave this QR code with, little segments of wash detergent, or whatever it may be for people who are coming in here. And then in turn, you get your advertisement out. We talked about that. So tools that you guys should be investing in, right? So some tools that your necessary purchases. So right now, all of you, if you haven't already done this, you should definitely be investing in an Etsy Realtor Guide. Right? Why? Because it's a form that you can inform your potential clients with, right? You can email them. You can share something with them, something they can review. And Canva now actually has an option where you can do a flip book guide. So if you send it to them, all you gotta do is send them a link. They can flip through it and read it at their own leisure, and then be able to stay informed on whatever the topic is you may be. I definitely would recommend you getting a gimbal, right? So a gimbal is great in that you're able to do like virtual tours, you're able to do talking head videos and things of that nature, which people like those things. So, let's say you're going to a new community, instead of having shaky video, your gimbal will allow you to have stable video, and then in turn, you avoid having to pay, a videographer like myself to video you, because you can do those things your own self and then be able to up the level of content you have. Video lights. Can't say enough, for people who are making content, having quality lighting is important. You can make the average cell phone camera look like it's a video camera by just having constant light to help improve your video. And then lapel mics. Having a lapel mic is great in that it allows you to have crisp video with a video light, and have crisp audio as well. And there are some different options. If you're curious about some recommendations, you can shoot me a message. I'll share with you some of those recommendations. Necessary applications. Of course, Canva Pro. A lot of people, invest in regular Canva because it's free. I'll definitely tell you to invest in Pro. Why? Because you get the brand consistency. You can load in your brand colors. Two, you get some more options that are available to be able to use and utilize, which is great. So I definitely want to encourage you to invest in Canva Pro. And think with Canva Pro, you also have the team option. So if a couple of agents are on the team, you guys can invest in Canva Pro together and cut the cost. CapCut is great for videos. Not only can you do the auto text, like if you're doing like a talking head, you want to add a text there. You can do great transitions and make things that are visually appealing. I did a training about 2 weeks ago with Dion's team, and we took a simple video of an agent who was just driving through a neighborhood and sharing what she was about to do. And we made a cool reel out of it. It was no more than 10 seconds. But what it's going to do is going to help the algorithm of people who are watching to stay reconnected with that agent, because she's producing and sharing that content. A Google Drive or WeTransfer. That way you're able to share out material. If you need to share large files, always like having a Google Drive or WeTransfer. And then Fiverr. When in doubt, if you're getting too many things to do at once, having a Fiverr is great, because you can get quality products at low cost. Necessary task. Looking to plan an event bi-monthly, right? So every 2 months you should have having some form of event, whether it be virtual or in person. Should be looking to have some type of event in order to help generate those new leads who potentially become new clients. The creation of video content. Video content is extremely, extremely important, not only because video does up to 4 times better than just a static post, but also it helps you with retargeting from a business standpoint as well. You need to create that foundational content. So for some of you, like if you're not posting consistently, I'll work on starting to create enough content that allows you to post consistently. And what that means is you just stockpile up to 10 posts, have it ready to go. And that way you don't become overwhelmed thinking you have to create content every day. I'm somebody, I don't create content every day. I find one day or a block of hours that I can take old photos or whatever it may be. I throw it into a Planoly, which is a scheduler. And then I auto set it and then let it ride. And then I'm done for the month or the 2-week time interval that I may be working with. So being able to batch create content is great, but you need that foundational content so that your analytics can work. So then you can determine the audience that you're talking to. And then eventually creating blog posts. Blog posts will help with the Google search, which will then in turn help more clients be able to find you and then become more searchable. And then some necessary investments. I'll tell you, definitely invest in a domain name. That way you're able to have a business, a website for your business. So you then can become more searchable, and more searchable allows you to have a larger reach, and then all those other great events. Hard drive. A lot of people, their cell phones are becoming overwhelmed because you have so much content. If you have a hard drive that you can connect to your laptop, you can take those video content or whatever it is you're making, put it on the hard drive so that it's not slowing down your computer or slowing down your cell phone. And then you're able to be more operational. A laptop or iPad Pro so that you can edit a lot of your content, a logo and signature so that you can be more consistent with your content and more visible, and definitely getting a website design. So as far as the blueprint goes, over the next few months, things you've been working on, one is definitely making that Google My Business page so that people can be able to find you. I would definitely encourage you to have that in place by Sunday, if nothing else. You know, you want to be in a position where people are able actually able to search you, so that, you know, if you're making great content online, they're like, oh, let me see if this person is real, and then they can't find anything on Google, well, then it must not be real. Next, you want to build that foundational content. So design that foundational content that informs people, so that people are able to see that you know what you're talking about is important. And then there's another hidden gem reason why as well that I'll share in 2 seconds. You want to set up your website and analytics. That way you're able to track individuals coming to your page and track those businesses that are interacting with you. So you definitely want to set up that website and set up the analytics. You want to create that call to action. Call to action is important because you're telling people what they should be doing or what they should be working on. You want to make sure you have that within the next 2 months. And then you definitely, by the end of next year, want to run an ad. But you don't want to do this until you've done all of this. Why? Because if you don't have the analytics and you don't know who you're talking to, running an ad really will be pointless. And I will show you. For those of us, how many people have been inside of the Meta Business Suite? By a show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody's clapping, I guess. Naya's happy that she's been in this week, or she's raising her hand, wanted to just mess with you. So it seems like everybody's been inside of business, the Facebook Business Suite. So one of the things that I think people are underutilizing is the audience segment. So inside of the Business Suite, you also have the audience segment, right? So if you go into create audience, so there's 2 things you can do. You know, if you have that Facebook pixel, you can do what's a lookalike audience, right? And a lookalike audience are people who are almost directly connected with people who have been to your website, but not necessarily them, so that you can target ads to those individuals. So that's why when we talk about like creating content and getting people to your website and page is so important, so that you can make a lookalike audience. But for those who don't have that, you know, the second thing that you can do is be able to have a source that is connected to the content you're making, which is the reels, right? So let's say I want to make an audience, and this audience, I'm going to do it off of videos. Why? Because I spent time making reels, right? So I'm going to design this for people who have watched at least 75% of the videos that I've made. I'm going to say 90 days. Why? Because people, you know, sometimes can change within those 90 days. I want to say this is going to be in just, I'm going to say realtor content. And then now I have to choose the video, right? So let's see, gotta change this to Instagram, change it to photo. And then I'm gonna find it's probably easier if I did wedding, but I'm just gonna pick a random video, right? I'll pick this reel. So this is a reel that has 467 views on it, right? So I can run an ad of the 467 people who sat and watched it. For everybody who watched at least 10 seconds or 15 seconds of it, I can run a reposition and run an ad on those individuals. And the reason why that's so significant is because if you watched it more than 10 seconds, you must be interested. Like, this is something that appeals to you, right? So with that being said, if this is something that appeals to you, you interacted with it, let me continue to flood you with this information. So I say this to say, if you're doing reels on first-time home buyers, you'll make an audience around first-time home buyers, and then you'll pick videos that you've already made and put into your profile around first-time home buyers and running ads and content around it. So that's why having that foundational content before you make your ad is so important, because you're only going to be speaking to people who are actually not intentional, well, really, yeah, or intentional about learning about that information. So this 467 will then probably go in front of, let's say, 70 people, another 70 people. If I'm able to close 2 or 3 people, that's a great day. But at least I know that I have a better shot of interacting with people who want to be in front of that information. So with a few minutes left, I want to make sure that I open the floor up for any questions that people may have before I go into the closing comments. Questions?
Austin, how much do you charge? I'm sorry, I'm joking. And you know I don't like to do too much stuff, but do you do help people out with content or like, not even just content, but you do help people out that do need like a starter package, right?
Yeah, yes. So yes. So no, absolutely yes. And actually that's one of the things I was encouraged to come up and make something. So I'll share that momentarily. But yes, I do help agents. If you on a one-on-one basis, if you want to sit down and talk about it, we'll sit down, talk about a plan on how to be able to be intentional. While posting consistently is great, if for nothing else, you help the algorithm of social media, there are other actions that you should be working on. So at a minimum, besides having the Google My Business page and things of that nature, being consistent with posting is important because you need to break the algorithm. If you don't break the algorithm and break into the people that you're intending to get in front of, you're just going to be more and more frustrated about why things that you're doing are not working. Other questions? Questions? Don't tell me the presentation was that good that nobody has questions. So I know people have questions.
I have a question, Austin.
Yes, thank you.
I was raising my hand, but I guess you
okay. I didn't see it. Some people looked at like Melissa has her hand up and Nicole has her hand up. So I don't know if you have your hand up for questions. And if so, I'll call on you. But Katie, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a link tree in my bio. You're saying that I should use my own landing page. What should it be the same? I just want more information on the landing page, like what platform, I guess, to use.
So you can build a landing page on whoever your website or web builder is, right? So, when we had talked in the presentation, Midphase is a great website builder that you can have just as a starter, right? And the reason why is because you want to capture people on that Google Analytics. And I'll show you here.
So basically the same platform that my website is on.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I'll show everybody why. That was an excellent question. So there we go. All right. So here's why you want to do that. So this is my Google Analytics page, right? And the reason why you want to do that is because of this information. So like your website has different pages. And from here, you can determine if the action that you're doing is intentional. So right here, everybody can see over the last 7 days, my link in bio page is up 1,400% from last week to this week. So, rightfully so, I ran an ad, and then the ad caused people to click more into the link in bio page, but that lets me know that what I'm doing is working. So then I can determine if people are booking because they're clicking my link in bio or they're attending today's class or whatever it may be, like I need to keep it up. So you need to be able to determine if the actions and what you're doing and how you're sending people somewhere is actually working. You need this analytics. And then you can determine when people are doing these actions, if it's working because like organic social. So people are searching my page via social media and then coming there. So that's up 160%. So that's great. That lets me know that the content I'm putting out and people are, searching and researching for a photographer or whatever it may be, that's helpful so that what I'm doing is working. Nicole. You have a question, Nicole, or?
Oh no, I was
Oh.
raising my hand for one of the questions you asked. No, I don't have a question.
Okay. All good. All good. Any other questions?
Hey, Austin. So is
Yeah.
what was the website builder that you just
Midphase. Midphase.com.
Midphase?
Yeah, MIDPHASC.com.
Okay.
So I like Midphase because they have a website builder. It's super easy. You don't have to have a tech background to do it. And then within there, you actually get a free up to the middle one, which is the business platform, is up to 1,000 emails. Or you get the essential pack, you get 10 emails.
Okay.
But it's great for that business who's just looking for like a foundational, and then for many of you, all you need is a homepage, about me page, and then you can link it to the website that your brokerage either has or the MLS that your brokerage either has, have that just embedded in there like as a button. But at a minimum, you're able to then track that website. You can build SEO around that website and web pages, because you have your H1s, your H2s, which is another conversation for another day. But this is, from a cost saving standpoint, I like Midphase because it comes in roughly about $100 for the year, but you end up getting a lot for it. But great question.
All right. Thank you.
We should get the business one, you said?
I like the business one because it has an SSL layer, secure socket layer. Just makes it more safe, more secure. Especially like if you want to start doing other things like putting like lead forms onto your website and stuff like that. So you have like potential data like email addresses, phone numbers. Like it's more secure website.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So for those who are interested, I am launching a 4-week intensive, looking to probably start it right after school starts, so first week of September. So it's going to be a 4-week intensive. We're going to be talking about how to establish your brand and brand identity, creating content with a call to action. So showing you how to be able to do certain tasks more than just a reel. So we're going to show you how to not only create video or real content, but also put it on YouTube to help increase your SEO, your search engine optimization, so that you have a larger reach, and then the creation and making of ads. In that, you also get a one-on-one session with me to talk about like your marketing plan, and we will sit down and actually develop a marketing plan specifically for your business. Like we'll find out who your client avatar is, how to be able to find the elements that actually speak to that client avatar so that you can create content around them. You'll also get free digital marketing material. So like I'll start you off with like that buyer guide, start you off with like your social media posts and things of that nature, and then a whole lot more as well. Those who have taken my classes in the past can all speak to, for the investment that you make, you definitely get that 10 times more. Like that's something I'm big on, is always providing value that exceeds the investment. So the class is going to be advertised and put out there for $197. I'm going to have 8 initial students. For those who actually are interested and want to move forward, if you are interested to move forward by Sunday, it'll be for $129, and payment plan options are available as well. And then, as always, I thank you all for joining me this evening. Taking an hour of your time out of your busy day to participate. It's not something that I take lightly. Hopefully, you were able to take these tools and resources and then utilize them to help grow your business. I am not a gatekeeper. If there's some way, some shape or form that I can help you in your business, in your journey, please don't hesitate to text me, call me, email me, whatever it may be. I am always just a short reach away. All right.
Thank you, Austin.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
so much for your time.
you.
Everyone, definitely have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
you too.
Oh, wait, I have another question.